What's going on, you guys? EP09 back here with another video, and I found out that the dates for the biggest guest posing of the year in the IFBB Pro League for the Pittsburgh Pro have been announced. But before I get to that, if you guys enjoy this content, please like this video, hit that subscribe button. I love bringing you guys the best bodybuilding content on YouTube, and I have big plans for this channel when things really take off. So thank you all for your support so far. So the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing list has been announced, as well as the dates for the show. This year, the show will be May 12th and 13th, and the guest posing, most notably, will feature Sean Clarita, Nick Walker, Derek Lunsford, and Hunter Labrada, as well as Chris Bumstead. So this is a pretty cool lineup, and it's always exciting to see these guys on stage next to each other when all of these guys at that point will be in full-blown off-season mode. And it's easily the biggest we see these guys on stage all year. Not the leanest, but man, these guys show up huge. Now, the one name that's missing on this list is Hadi, our current Mr. Olympia. For those out there who may not be aware of the history of the Pittsburgh Pro, this show is actually Jim Mannion's show, Jim Mannion being the president of the IFBB Pro League, and historically, the top 5, or top athletes from the Mr. Olympia are invited to show up at the Pittsburgh Pro and do a guest posing. Actually, historically, the guys that are invited are more or less expected to show, There's really not many guys out there that have told Jim Mannion, no, I won't be there. It's the biggest guest posing of the year of any show for sure. Also, traditionally, the Mr. Olympia winner from the previous year shows up, pretty much every time. In fact, the first time in recent history that a Mr. Olympia didn't show up was when Big Ramy didn't make it to the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing in 2022.
For a while now, and I would like to explain to you all what's been happening. First, I would like to apologize to Mr. Jamani, Tyler Mannion, IFBB Pro League, for not coming to Pittsburgh Pro.
It was a big controversy for those that remember. Ramy gave no explanation, and he was scheduled to be there. This was no surprise. Ramy was scheduled. He did apologize, but many of the conspiracy theorists out there think that may have been a part of the reason that Ramy placed 5th at the Olympia this year. Because like I said, historically, the top athletes do not refuse Jim Mannion. Now, as for Hadi, I'm sure he was invited, but Hadi is Iranian and he does live in Iran full time. Maybe the travel is too much this time around. I know Hadi has had visa issues in the past, but yeah, it's still a great lineup even without Hadi there, and it will make for some interesting comparisons for sure. I'll be tuning in for that show. So one of the guys that will be at the guest posing, like I said, is Nick Walker, and Nick was there last year. Nick dropped an update picture after a leg training session where he doesn't show any legs in this picture anyway, but his upper body looks absolutely insane. It's like every update picture he drops, he just looks better and better. This speaks a lot to Nick's confidence, I think, too. I made the comment on this picture actually, if this is what leg day looks like for Nick, then I think Nick should do legs every day between now and when the Arnold Classic happens. Nick actually looks quite lean down, and I know I've said it before, but it does look like Nick is improving his aesthetics. Maybe Nick is planning on coming in, I don't want to say smaller, because that's not accurate, but more streamlined, I think. Now, Nick did drop some leg training footage on his Instagram as well. You just see the size and, you just see that freaky mass that Nick is known for. Maybe Nick is planning on coming in more streamlined. And, maybe Matt Jansen may be keeping the food volume low and specifically ensuring that Nick is not eating anything that will promote inflammation potentially, like, red meat or maybe some complex carbs. I don't know. But I do know Nick doesn't do any extra sugars, but something definitely looks different about him this time around. Now, putting lighting aside, just looking at the overall silhouette of his physique, I think he does look more, streamlined, I guess you would say. So the question is Nick able to streamline his physique for the Arnold to be more appealing to the way the Arnold is judged? Is this a legitimate strategy? You guys let me know down below if Nick does look like he has a different look to his physique in this shot. So one guy that's definitely not worried about looking streamlined right now is Michael Krizo. Krizo also dropped an update where he's on his way to a full-blown off-season. And man, he always looks huge, but it seems like every picture he puts out, he just looks bigger and bigger. Krizo has been getting in some family time and, presumably taking some time to relax and recharge before he really goes to a full-blown off-season. But I think this one here was most impressive and, pretty funny. Look at Krizo just sitting next to, a normal-sized guy here. I mean, he would look huge anyway. But just like the roundness from Krizo, Krizo really is probably the most impressive round-looking bodybuilder in the IFBB right now. Now, the only competition plans that Krizo has for sure right now are the 2023 Olympia, and the Prague Pro is only a couple of weeks after that show, and I'm sure he's doing that show because he wants to be there for a sponsor, EVLS, and that is a major sponsor of the Prague Pro. But Krizo still needs to qualify for that 2023 Olympia too, and he hasn't announced which show he's planning on doing yet. I'm pretty sure that the calendar needs to be updated for the IFBB Pro League shows that are happening in 2023. But I know that Krizo's planning on doing a bulk again to gain another 20 or 30 pounds, something like that. So if he takes a few months to do that and then starts cutting for a show, I think we will see Krizo on stage somewhere in the summer months. I think if Krizo can come in with an improved back and better conditioning in the 2023 season, I mean, I could definitely see him cracking that top 10 at the Olympia. Maybe even the top 8 this year. He is that good, make no mistake. So that's going to do it for me in this video, you guys. Just a few quick updates. Leave me a comment down below on what you think. Do you think Hadi should be at the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, or is the lineup good enough without him? Is Nick going to bring a more streamlined physique to the Arnold stage? Do you think Krizo's plans to bulk and cut will pay off for him in the 2023 bodybuilding season? Let me know down below. Thanks for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.